Okay, so this is the second part series from Libra to Pisces. So starting with the moon in Libra, when happy, they are very friendly and sociable and like to be around people. So quickly looking at their upbringing, seeing if they felt like they fitted in. Did they get along well with people? Did people understand them? These are fundamental things for the Libra moon. And also, in what way can they express their true desires and still be able to keep the peace? Or do they go with peace at the expense of their desires? Or do they need other people to stand up for them? And this leads us into partnerships. They really do thrive in partnerships. So ideally they want someone to share their ideas with, their feelings with, their emotions with, to help them make decisions and help them be more direct and understand their true feelings and make sense of their emotions. Again, being an air sign, they can tend to overthink their emotions and maybe even what people think of them. It's connected to an emotional need of needing to be liked, needing to be accepted and a part of a group, part of the society. Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus is how we relate to one another in our society. And they do tend to overthink because they have this ability to see both sides of an argument. It's actually quite a gift. They can be very diplomatic because of this, but it doesn't help them personally when they're trying to decide something, when they're trying to work out which one to go with, what is the deciding factor to come to a conclusion of how they feel. And then it can just go on forever because they go back and forth so much because they see the validity in both sides. And then maybe it can make them procrastinate or indulge to make them feel better because this back and forth is tiring. Again, ruled by Venus, they have this emotional need for balance, for harmony in their home environment. Maybe looking at if they had that growing up and maybe they're overcompensating in their adult life, trying to make things perfect, trying to make things more beautiful, maybe spending a lot, maybe indulging a lot. If not, they make beautiful home environments. They can create beautiful home environments. And this also makes them very affected by arguments or confrontation at home. This is also why Libras also partner up so often with Aries, because you need a little bit of directness and moving forward kind of energy if no one's going to be satisfied with just peace and harmony all the time, realistically. So it's good to keep that in mind and maybe not seeing that in another person, but maybe how can they themselves become more direct and action orientated. Okay, so for a moon in Scorpio, these people need to feel safe and secure, their moon, through intimacy, through intensity, sexual connection, and through depth of feeling. And sex will be very important to them because this is how they think they can feel most connected, most intimate with someone, and the best way to feel satisfied. But what they really want is just depth of feeling, connection, trust, and to feel completely merged with someone else, to feel a sense of safety and security and comfortability. And because Pluto rules this moon sign, a good thing to look at is what did these people have control over when they were younger? And if they did feel powerless in some way, how does that now manifest? And did they have to lose or let go of something in childhood? Because this will really shape how much they trust and how much they emotionally attach and hold on to things in adult life. When they're upset, they can definitely simmer on their emotions, to sort of mull over how they feel because they like to keep things private. They like to experience their emotions in a private way. So the best way to help channel this is through, listening to intense music, some sort of sport or hobby even where they can have intense focus and passion for something. They really need to figure out what they're passionate about and do this as a hobby or have this involved in their life somehow, because otherwise passion can be a destructive force. Again, depending on their upbringing, they may be very unwilling to share their deepest part of themselves because they don't like to feel vulnerable. Scorpio is a fierce protector of their vulnerability. They really need time and patience and deep understanding and compassion with dealing with their emotions so they can bring up their needs and how they feel, again, which will happen eventually because with Pluto, nothing stays buried forever. And Pluto being a powerful subconscious planet as well, they will like to have some sort of subtle control of their home environment or the house that their moon is in. So once you've passed their tests, you've earned their trust, they can be incredibly emotionally devoted to their loved ones. For a moon in Sagittarius, look to your Jupiter, the aspects to the moon, and what the house placement of the moon is for more information on this. So these people are going to have a need to travel overseas at some point in their life, whether it's lots of trips or one major trip overseas is really going to be life-changing for them. They're really going to grow and mature from that. When Jupiter's involved with the moon, it's all about gaining a bigger perspective, than what their home environment provided for them growing up, because that's what Jupiter or Sagittarius really wants, to gain understanding and wisdom of the world. So they will do this through traveling. They really need to experience, and also they feel very comfortable learning from other cultures, other ideas, other experiences, philosophies, religions, other cuisines even. So looking at their moon and their life experiences, did they ever feel trapped or caged in, suppressed, or maybe even intellectually shunned? Do they need or do they like to escape and to experience freedom and different environments? And in what situations and how often, and how do they use humor? Is it maybe an avoidant technique? And when these people are happy, they have quick bursts of optimism and ideas and excitement and adventures. Like the other air and fire moons, this is a very sociable moon sign. They probably get a lot of emotional excitement and energy and contentment when they're around other people, when they're experiencing joy. This is a sign of Jupiter, Zeus, Dionysus. Just having fun. They do know how to relax and make other people laugh. This is also a very spiritual sign, like the Pisces moon as well. So having some sort of quest or spiritual journey will happen at some point throughout their life, and it'll really be nourishing, emotionally nourishing for them. They may always like to keep their eye on the horizon and the dream that they want to create, but without any prominent sort of cardinal in them. So Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, it will be harder to manifest. They really need to have and enjoy a home environment with lots of wide open spaces, somewhere where you can see the sky or the ocean, or just having a big house, big rooms, tall ceilings, just space in the home. And this also includes emotionally and mentally as well. So a house with little rules and restrictions. So they do have high ideals and are strong with their belief systems. They connect with them emotionally. So they can feel the most upset when this is challenged, or when people disagree with what they say or what they believe in. And they also feel happy and content when they're having mind-expanding discussions or philosophical conversations and healthy debates with people. So with the moon in Capricorn, look to your Saturn, the placement of the moon, the aspects of the moon for more information on this. These people need a routine and structured and organized home environment. And they are really happiest when they feel admired, respected, dependable, persistent, and diligent, or have achieved something and their hard work is paying off. Emotionally, they can cope very well with the responsibility for having things put on their shoulders. And often they have had to be the mature one in their home environment growing up. And this is why they sort of take this role into adulthood. A good questions to ask this moon are, what would happen if you failed or dropped the ball? Or how tightly are you holding on to success? If so, where did that need come from? A difficult thing for other people, but also for themselves, is getting through these walls that they've put up to protect their emotional vulnerability, and from emotions that affect their practical, hardworking achievements and nature and lives that they've really built for themselves. So feelings like low self-esteem, unworthiness, not being capable can really creep in when they start to overthink and they get too stuck in their work and trying to achieve. Because then they do also have a tendency to become too serious, and can really benefit of breaking up their routine every now and then, spending quality time with their loved ones, or just taking a holiday and just remembering the lighter sides and more relaxed side of life. So Capricorns, like all earth moons, have a habit of suppressing their emotions until they really have to deal with them. They suppress them for so long that it becomes so overwhelming to have to deal with them all in one go. So small check-ins with how they're feeling really helps. And just acknowledgement, just that respect and acknowledgement goes a long way with them. And they can be really comfortable in peace, in silence, and just having that space for themselves. So with the moon in Aquarius, these people have a need to be in the community with the like-minded groups of people and friends and colleagues. They are usually well liked, or at the very least very well known in these sort of settings, and have many connections. Their emotional cup is really full when they're having exciting, provoking, intellectual conversations with people. Again, being an air moon, they tend to overthink and rationalize their feelings. So contemplating again if there was any need in their life growing up where they needed to separate, or maybe dealing with separation when young. Did they feel maybe different from the other children growing up, or did they fit into the groups that growing up? And how can you be there more for your emotional self? This is seemingly one of the hardest signs to get the raw emotional feelings out of and to see how they really feel. And this is also why they can be so attractive, because it seems like they've got all of their emotionals under control and they have almost a cool, calm, collected, almost like Capricorn moon sort of demeanor. Again, when you get closer to these people, their loved ones will see that it's almost just like a facade, and in their mind and inside it's almost like a tornado of thoughts and emotions and feelings just going around, kind of a bit chaotic. And they guard and deflect people trying to dig out their emotions with their intellect, with their wit, maybe with their standoffish demeanor. And I think few people do really know this moon sign very well, and even their loved ones, when they get close to them, might discover a more goofy and unpredictable side of them. And so when they do feel comfortable to open up their mind and their heart to you, they may not be able to stop. So unlike Capricorn, they do feel uninspired and oppressed when it comes to routine and predictability in their home, in their personal lives, due to the new ruler Uranus. And they love to change up their home, change up the furniture every now and then, just make changes in the home, and have lots of social gatherings in the home, especially if they have other really sociable aspects in their chart. Otherwise, they can be the more of a recluse type of Aquarius moon at home and needs to have that space to sort of just shut off, separate, have that time on their own. Their emotions are tied into the connection and the sign of the people. So they will go to great lengths to help out friends, to help out colleagues, to help out people around them, and really anyone in need. So really remember to appreciate them for that, and just remember that accepting them for who they are and loving them unconditionally just as they are is the way to opening their heart. And they're also very capable for fighting for justice and for freedom for their loved ones, because these issues are so close to their heart. We're on to the last sign of Pisces, moon in Pisces. Look to your Neptune, the placement of the moon and aspects to Neptune and moon for more information. So they're like the fish swimming underwater. They are one with the emotional tides and waves of everything around them. If this moon is in a prominent angular house, then it's going to be obvious, and maybe even that they struggle to have a bit of emotional boundaries. And because they're so emotionally responsive to their environment, they're going to need time away for themselves and a means of escaping to really truly see how they feel and to process that emotion. They need a lot of space, a lot of time alone in another world, whether that's in music, in a book, in a TV program, some sort of fantasy world or realm where they can just be away, because dealing with practical reality all the time is going to be draining on their emotions. A good expression is maybe spirituality, having a faith, having something to go off and pray or believe in a healthy way, obviously is going to be a good channel for this. So questions for these people growing up: did they have a need to escape from their environment growing up? Was there something maybe harsh or not appropriate for them to be around, so they needed to go somewhere else, maybe mentally or physically? Can they allow and trust other people with their sensitivity, or was that trust maybe misused or abused when they were growing up? Were they maybe confined to or lied or manipulated? Because they're a very open and trust and giving sign naturally. So if this was ever the case, it's going to change how this is manifesting and how they can connect with themselves internally. And how can they trust and build connection with themselves to know that they really are true, pure, infinite consciousness, really, that can never be harmed, can never be manipulated or destroyed, or unless they believe that power can be taken away. And maybe what new beliefs can they rewrite to be open and connected and be one with everything and everyone around them, and still have their boundaries and know that they're unbreakable. And escaping into these other mental and emotional states can really help them tap into their poetic, creative, artistic abilities. This is also a great way for them to channel their emotions into something creative. Especially if the moon is in the 12th house, they can have a boundless or endless supply of compassion and understanding and healing for other people. And their partners will really need to be careful with the words that they use with their Pisces moon partner, because these people usually pick up on how people are feeling and what isn't said. They're very intuitive. And romantics at heart, they love to be wooed and idealized. A simple gesture of flowers goes a long way with them. So I hope you like this video. Leave a like or comment, and I'll see you soon.